Welcome to FRC Recap for week number 5. With only 17 events this week number 5 is the smallest or shortest week in regards to the amount of events that we're going to be covering here, but still some fantastic ones to go through. I myself was at the Las Vegas Regional this past weekend, got to experience some awesome competition play. So all of our correspondents from around the world will be breaking down these event recaps, so stay tuned for FRC Recap. This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. AndyMark is your one-stop shop for all your robotics competition needs. Celebrating 20 years of quality robotics parts and superior service, AndyMark employees have over 200 years of first-team experience. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to andymark.com for high-quality and affordable solutions. Support Fun's content creators when you sign up for a membership on YouTube Join. You'll get access to special perks like emotes, loyalty badges, and Fun members will even get early access to our scheduled videos and more. 100% of this revenue will go back to our correspondents to help recognize their efforts. Click the join button in any YouTube video to pledge your support.
The Midwest Regional featured 50 teams from 9 states and 5 countries. This event was certainly big, and it featured a lot of big names. This would be the second highest top 8 EPA event of the year and the highest top 24 EPA event of any non-district championship this season. And it was this level of talent that made several of their qualification matches look really like world level matches and maybe even world playoff level matches. Jumping into qualifications 45 here, we'd see a note race with 4 seconds left in autonomous between 64-21 and 30-61. 64-21 would win it, and they would miss their shot with it, though, and it would be tied 34-34 coming out of autonomous. Now, note, Blue had 3 notes by their speaker coming out of autonomous. They would go with a passing strategy throughout this match when not amplified, and they would keep a healthy supply of notes in that area. Red would also start off the match passing, but after their second penalty for launching from the incorrect zone would go with normal cycles. And unfortunately for Red, when they switched their strategy here, Blue would then start to pull away. Blue would lead by 19 points as they would start climbing for their endgame, but a late amplification in Spotlight Climb would end the match 100-88 in favor of Blue. 2-3-3-8 would take the first seed by a healthy margin and effectively had this lockdown after the first day of qualifications. Alliance selections would have a few declines here in the later alliances, which set up some interesting matches in the first few rounds of the bracket. Jumping into our featured match of the playoff, match 11 would feature Alliance 1 versus Alliance 6 and would also be a preview of the finals. In autonomous, it would end 31-34 in favor of the Red Alliance, and then we would see the standard 2 offense, 1 defense with the blockers coming out. Red 1 would still pass notes with their strategy and use the protected amp zone to effectively herd them in the corner, and Blue would do standard cycles. The match would stay close until about 40 seconds remaining, where Blue gets in an amplification period and takes a 12-point lead going into the endgame. Blue would amp one more time even in this match with 11 seconds to go and really seal the deal and win 104-93. And although Blue, the number 6 alliance, would win this match, 1 would take home the final with a slightly modified strategy in 2 matches. Congratulations to that number 1 alliance of 2-3-3-8, 3-5-9, and 46-55 on the gold. And an extra special congratulations to 3-5-9 for the double gold Kling Bling, taking home Impact. And congratulations to 1986 taking home Engineering Inspiration. I do want to mention this event was so deep that the 4 wildcards would get generated and make their way all the way back to the 3rd place alliance.
Welcome to the first of 3 regionals out west this week, and this year's Monterey Bay Regional. It's held at Seaside High School in Seaside, California. 36 teams would get together for the smallest regional in the state. Some familiar faces going in were Central Valley Regional winners, 1323 Madtown Robotics, 604 Quicksilver, who shocked the world at Sacramento 2 weeks ago by ranking first and winning, and 971 Spartan Robotics, who still hadn't qualified for the championship prior to this event and were looking to punch their ticket this weekend. It was that Mountain View squad in particular drawing attention, as we all watched to see how they'd improved on their performance since San Francisco. A perfect example of them succeeding despite their drivetrain limitations and changing their strategy to suit was their first outing at this event, Qual 3. In blue would be teams 6918, 1280, and 1072, and red would be down a robot with only 971 and 3257 making it to this match. Auto would go red's way with 5 notes to the blue alliance's 3. Teleop saw that 971 would focus on the speaker, while 3257 would specialize in the amp. Blue, from the start of Teleop, would play it pretty straight with some passing, but a real focus on full field cycles and speaker shooting. At around 20 seconds into Teleop, 971 begins feeding and sends multiple notes across the field in quick succession. Not only does this help store notes for amplification, but also limited the number of trips across the field that 971 had to take, which limited the opportunities for a defender to come interrupt them. We saw at San Francisco that it takes a second to reorient themselves after a collision, which slows them down a lot more than most other teams. This smart driving would help keep things close through the match. Coming towards the end of Teleop with 30 seconds left, 971 gets ready to put one in the trap while down by 6 according to the real-time scores. The scores would come out to 67 for red and 61 for blue. Without fouls, it's actually only a 1-point margin in favor of red. Other interesting statistics to come from the box scores include the fact that it was a lack of amplification that hurt the Blue Alliance more than anything else, as they scored almost double the amount of game pieces in the speaker than red did. In the end, this match showed the power of passing and once again hammered home how important amplification is in this game. Fast forwarding through the rest of quals and playoffs, we meet our second featured match, finals match number 1. In red would be the number 1 seed alliance of 2035, 1323, and 604, and in blue would be the number 3 seed alliance of 5104, 971, and 6962. Auto would be a dead heat with 6 notes and 34 points apiece, made so by 971 stealing a note from underneath 1323. Teleop is where the scores would diverge, as both sides set about amplifying as quickly as possible. In their first amplification period, red would get 3 shots in to pull ahead, while blue could only respond with 2 amplified shots. As the match went on, 971 made an interesting strategy call. They pivoted to defense as they had no note available to them on their side of the field, and they knew it wouldn't be worth it to try to punch through the defense of 2035 in an effort to get more. When they were able to lock onto someone, their defense was actually rather impressive despite the whole tank on swerve thing. Red played an impressive match as Madtown seemed to have perfected their passing strategy for a ridiculous amount of amplified shots. A last-ditch set of amplified shots by blue wouldn't be enough, as they were down by almost 40 at the end of Teleop, with final scores coming out to 115 to 71 in favor of red. Red would seal the deal with 135 to 61 in finals 2 to win the Monterey Bay Regional. Congratulations to the winners, 1323 Madtown Robotics with their 10th regional win in a row, 604 Quicksilver with their 2nd regional win in a row this year, and 2035 Rockin' Bots taking their first ever regional win. Also after champs are Impact winners 649 MSET Fish, EI winners 4135 Iron Patriots, and wildcard recipients 971 Spartan Robotics. Moving down south to the Orange County Regional, where 48 teams would compete at the Orange County Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa, California. The sheer number of teams that looked likely to take victory entering this event was staggering, with a list including 7157 Bubonics, 5199 Robot Dolphins from Outer Space, 6995 Nomad, 8033 Highlander Robotics, 3476 Code Orange, and more. Quals saw 5199 come out on top with a reliable trap mechanism helping them get key ensemble ranking points. They would be leading the number 1 alliance in our first highlighted match, Playoff 7. In red would be the aforementioned number 1 seed with 5199, 8033, and 3473 in blue. And in blue would be the number 4 seed alliance of 6995, 4415, and Team 4. Auto would shockingly go the way of blue with an impressive 8-note auto compared to red's 5. As Teleop started, blue started the passing immediately, with both Team 4 and 6995 sending game pieces across the field. Red would have a different focus, as 8033 and 5199 both put notes in the amp to prepare for amplification. Red would be the first to amplify, but would fail to take advantage of it as only 1 note was made in the speaker. Blue's first amplification saw 3 notes scored and their advantage grow. Both sides would amplify again at around 115 left in the match, with red having a perfect amplification with 4 shots made compared to the Blue Alliance's 3. However, the buffer from both auto and the first amplification still saw blue ahead by 20. Red would close the gap a little bit at times, but it would not be enough. A lack of accuracy in some critical shots and 5199 not hitting their, up until this point, very reliable trap score sealed this number 1 alliance's fate as the scores came out to 105 to 89 in favor of blue. These two alliances would meet again in match 13 with the same end result, the number 4 seed alliance coming out on top and this time eliminating the number 1 seed. Moving on to our second featured match, Finals 1. In red would be the number 2 seed alliance of 7157, 3476, and 5285, while blue would be the number 4 seed alliance we saw in match number 7. Auto would kick off with a hard midfield hit between 7157 and 6995, with Robotics successful in acquiring the node and escaping damage-free. By this point, 6995's intake was already damaged, so the second centerline node they tried to go for once again fell into the clutches of 7157. 6995 pivoted to defense for the rest of the match as blue tried to make up for being both down after auto and down a primary scoring robot. Their Nomad's defense would prove rather effective and only kept the Red Alliance to 6 speaker shots, though all of them were amplified. Facing an uphill battle, blue did perform admirably, with Team 4 passing and shooting and 4415 focusing on the amp. Red ran a decently straightforward match and kept piling on the points as teleop went on. Endgame saw 6995 climb and 2 red robots park. In the end, the final scores would come out to 96 to 72 in favor of red. Taking away penalties, this was actually a rather close match, but red would apply another beating to blue in Finals 2 and take the regional crown. Congratulations to the winners, 7157 Robotics taking a well-deserved second regional victory, 3476 taking their first regional win since 2022, and 5285 Sea Kings Robotics picking up their first blue banner. Also, congrats to Impact winners 8033 Highlander Robotics and EI winners 3476 Code Orange. And there, folks, is your recap for this year's Orange County Regional.
The Las Vegas Regional celebrated its 20th anniversary with 45 teams coming in from 6 states and 4 other countries, including Canada, Australia, the Netherlands, and Taiwan. The Las Vegas Regional is one of my favorite events to attend. Well, it's at a huge professional basketball arena at UNLV, and hey, it's Vegas, baby. Andre did a great forecast on this and was pretty spot on with his predictions of 44-14 being a lock, followed by 987, 687, and 7406 being strong contenders, and 2403 being a dark horse. Well played, Andre. And that's pretty much how the event played out. It was pretty clear that 44-14 was a step above the other robots at this event, and there was 2 key qualification matches I want to focus on that really made things interesting, so let's dive in. First off, in qualification match 46, we saw the highest score of the day in quals of 117 or 112 unpenalized, set by the blue lines of 44-14, 987, and 76-54, which in my opinion solidified that should 44-14 seed first, they were going to pick 987, who, well, did have some inconsistencies, was awesome. 39 points coming out of autonomous. You see 44-14 start to do some passing, and they quickly switch to a strategy of shooting from wherever they please. They were able to shoot from the wing line, but they do lose some accuracy points, so it wasn't surprising to see them shoot from multiple positions. It was really cool to see how these 2 teams coordinated amp scoring and their amplification cycles as well. Near the end of the match, 987 was able to get their trap, and they were pretty consistent with this. 44-14 not able to get theirs, but overall, this was still a fantastic match and proved that these 2 teams would be teaming up together should the rankings work out. Next up was 44-14's first loss in Q57, which at the time could have allowed another team like 1380 or 9400 to go undefeated and maybe take that number 1 seed. This was an interesting match, as this match to me proved the balance at Crescendo that 2 high-tier robots can take down an elite-tier robot, and also some very interesting call sets of G423 and G211 penalties, both for and against 44-14. So in this match, you have High Rollers and Paradise along with Humans against 6824 LVA Robot Pigeons and 9002 Robo Falcons, of which neither would make the playoffs. Going back to auto, you'd see a race for the side notes in the middle of the field with 44-14, 987 reaching nearly at the same time, and then the next cycle, 74-26 and 44-14, clearing out those 2 middle notes in the middle of the field at the same time. 29 apiece would be the tie coming out of auto, and both alliances would decide to co-op, but the real drama begins at about 2 minutes where 44-14 and 4501 collide in the red source zone. It's hard to see in the camera, but I was right by the field, so I'll give you kind of my point of view. There were multiple falls and tech falls called here, and it depended how intent was interpreted by the referees. In a normal interaction, 4501 would receive a tech foul each time 44-14 would go into the source and attempt to get a note. However, after an initial hit, it was determined that 44-14 would pick up a note, Move then hit 4501, which would then cause falls and then tech falls called against them instead of 4501. This wasn't every cycle and probably could have been mitigated by either a human player placing a note closer to 4501 or 4414, just not bumping into 4501. And definitely some interesting extra discussions at the end of the match by both the referees and also in the question box as well too. But this would be where 4414 would be handed their only loss with a total of 55 penalty points between the alliances. I got them in the playoffs. This really wasn't close. 44-14 and 97 paired up together. 45-01 and then also 3009 would be on this alliance. And they'd have an average win margin of over 66 points. So congratulations to that alliance for an incredible performance. But there was quite a few teams whose championships hopes were on the lines with great results, including 1388, 2403, 4421, 6510, 6968, and 7426. Who were really distraught after they got knocked. 7426 Paradise Robotics would be awarded a very well-deserved Impact Award, so we'll get another chance to see them at the championships, and I'm so excited for them. Also, congrats to EI Award winners, 8717 Cyber Vipers, and Rookie All-Star Award recipients, 9426 Galena Clawbotics, who are also qualifying for championships as well, too, through a wild card. I look forward to seeing all of you next year at the Las Vegas Regional. It's an incredible event every year, and I encourage you all to come out and attend what is an awesome party at the Las Vegas Regional. We'd like to thank AndyMark and AndyMark.com for their continued support of fun content. AndyMark.com is your one-stop shop for all your competition robotics needs. Featuring over 200 years of combined experience, AndyMark has now been in business for 20 years, servicing first teams and beyond. From electrical and mechanical, anything you may need, go to AndyMark.com to see how they can help your team and to get some of the best quality parts and the superior service that your team deserves.
The WPI District event kicked off in Worcester, Massachusetts, where 36 teams converged to secure some of the last district points of the year. After 72 qualification matches and a full playoff bracket, it was the number 1 seed of 40-48, 17-68, and 59-62 against the number 2 seed of 190, 80-13, and 69 who faced off in the finals. After 3 hard-fought matches, it was the number 1 seed who would win the event and secure those blue banners. Congrats to Team 2079 4-H Alarm Robotics on winning Engineering Inspiration, and to Team 1757 the Wolverines and Fun Correspondent Steve Harrington on winning the Impact Award. The UNH District event took place in Durham, New Hampshire at the Whittemore Center that hosted 35 teams from 5 New England states. What was slated to be statistically the weakest event in the district this year instantly became the most bizarre and interesting event this season. You would have thought teams like 133, 166, 45-64, or even 58-13 would have seeded first. But you'd be wrong. It was 54-22 Storm Gears who seeded first after a wild 70 qualification matches. Now here is where things get interesting. There were not 1, not 2, but 4 declines in the alliance selection, all of them to the number 1 seed. Talk about scorched earth, as it was the 2nd, 4th, 3rd, and 5th seeds burned in that order. After the longest alliance selection that I have ever seen, about 50 minutes, they ended up picking the 6th seed team, 166 Chop Shop, and 23rd seed team, 1512 the Big Red. Alliance 1 made quick work in their first match, but they ran into the 4th seed of 133 Burt, 172 Northern Force, and 1350 Rambots. During this match, the number 1 seed ran the dual amp/speaker strat with 166 and 5422, while 1512 played source zone defense, while 166 shuttled notes every so often. The 4 seed played strat, where 172 and 1350 played speaker exclusive, while 133 flexed between amp and speaker. Even though both alliances had rough autos in this match, it was a few missed shots and contact in the stage under 20 seconds that made the number 1 seed fall behind and drop down to the lower bracket. This, however, was not the last time these two alliances would see each other. They faced off in the finals, except this time they were on opposite sides of the field. The finals were a wonderful time. Both alliances played the same strategies they ran when they saw each other earlier in the day. Both alliances were very consistent in teleop, but auto and endgame is what ended up killing the number 1 seed, allowing the number 4 seed to win both finals matches 91-70 and 106-82 to secure the event win. A big congrats to Team 501 the Power Knights on winning Engineering Inspiration, and to 172 Northern Force on the double gold Kling Bling, event winner and impact award. And a special shout out to Team 172 Northern Force, as they have officially broken their curse. They have won their first event since their inception in 1996. And not only did they get their first banner, they got 2. Congrats, guys. Well deserved. Next up, District Champs. Woo!
The Peachtree District Albany event took place at the Albany Civic Center in Albany, Georgia, with 29 teams from across the state. 1261 Robo Lions, 1771 North Gwinnett Robotics, and 6919 the Commodores had already each won a district event, but for all other teams, they were fighting at the last event before the district championship for either their first win or at least as many points as possible. We're going to start off taking a look at qualification match number 3. Specifically, we're going to focus on the Red Alliance. We have 6829 Ignite Robotics, 8849 Storm Robotics, and 1414 iHot. Autonomous starts with 1414 and 6829 on the move, going for multiple notes but only scoring 2 overall. At 2 minutes left to play, you see 1414 score 3 notes in quick succession over the next 17 seconds. During the same time, 6829 cycles 2 notes while 8849 scores in the amp. At a minute left to play in the match, you can really see the strategy click as 8849 scores in the amp, 1414 and 6829 quickly score in the speaker. As amplification comes to an end, 1414 then quickly scores their second note of the period. Then with 8 seconds left, we see the 3 robots all head to the stage zone to park, finishing with a score of 77-24. This would lead to 1414 captaining the second seed alliance. The next match we'll take a look at is Finals 2. This time we'll be looking at the number 1 seed in red of 1771, 1261, and 5074, the Robo Mustangs. In auto, 1771 and 1261 both score their preloads. 1261 then cleans up the notes from their wing, while 1771 heads to the line where they would secure and score another note. However, on blue, 1414 gets the note 1261 was going for on the midline, and 6919 runs a disruption auto, preventing any of the other notes from being scored during the period. When all was said and done, red ended auto ahead 39-16. At a minute 46, we see the Red Alliance plan. After each of them had previously scored in the amp, 1771 scores in the speaker, followed by 1261, and then 1771 cleans up a note fed to them by 1261. Then with 13 seconds left, both of the Red Alliance members score in an amplified speaker and quickly try to traverse the field to score one more set of notes. While both do make it back to score, only 1771 makes it back during amplification. And with a final score of 99-67, Red Alliance would take the victory and the event. Congratulations to the number 1 seed, 1771, 1261, 5074, and backup team 7104, the Bot Brothers, for their event win. Congratulations are also in order to team 4112 Eagle Bots, who would take home the Engineering Inspiration Award, while 6919 would get the Gold Silver Kling Bling by bringing home the Impact Award. With that, the Peachtree qualifying event comes to a close, as we prepare for the District Championship that just starts in a few days. Many of these teams will be competing there against the best of Georgia and South Carolina. We look forward to seeing how the event plays out and which teams will qualify for championships.
Welcome back for our last week before District Champs in Ontario. Arguably the most competitive event in Canada was played this weekend at McMaster University, but we'll dive into that later. First, let's look at the Windsor event. As the last week before District Champs, teams were using this competition to show off what they have what it takes to qualify. After 62 qualification matches, the rankings were set for playoffs. As captains of the First Alliance, Cybercavs picked Alpha Dogs and League of Logic and went on to win the event. 4768 showed off amazing note tracking that managed to pick up a note moved by the other Alliance in auto. The final saw Alliance 2 take on Alliance 1 for a chance at that coveted blue banner. Congratulations to Alliance 1 for the event win. Our impact winners are Saberbites Robotics, Team 772. 5870 League of Logic added to their gold medal with the Engineering Inspiration Award. The Rookie Inspiration Award went to 9663 Offshape Robotics. 4907 Thunderstamps took home the Auto Award, while the Industrial Award went to 8884 Night Owls. Congratulations to all the teams who competed in Windsor this weekend. Now, into probably the most exciting competition in Canada, the McMaster University event. With 35 teams competing, this is also the largest event in Ontario District this year. So many big names in FRC had me so excited to be competing in this event. So just to name a few, 610 Crescent Coyotes, 1114 Symbotics, 1241 Theory 6, 1325 Inverse Paradox, 2056 OP Robotics, 2200 Robotics, 5406 Celtex, and 5409 Chargers. There are so many more, but if I went on any longer, I would just end up reading the teams list. This event was my favorite as a student, and I was so excited to be back competing in the McMaster Gym. The teams brought their A game to Hamilton and left it all out on the field. The competition was on fire. Literally, matches were delayed by about half hour when the fire alarm went off and everyone was evacuated. Luckily, it was only a false alarm and both people and robots were unharmed. This weekend, we saw a lot of trap action, especially in 5409 matches, where they would often trap on multiple stages to maximize their points. 5406 and 2200 both debuted more reliable trap mechanisms improved from their last events. With such high-scoring matches, every game was so exciting to watch. Plus, so many human players nailed those spotlights, and quite a few harmonized climbs also occurred. Qualification 41 was an exciting match to watch. With so many robots zipping around the field, there was action everywhere you looked. The Blue Alliance did an awesome job of continuously cycling and timing their amplification periods, ending the match with a whopping 82 speaker points. And by far the most exciting part, by the time the buzzer went and the match was over, all 6 robots were hanging on stage, with 8764 being spotlit. What an exciting endgame to watch. Another must-watch qualification is 56. A sneak peek into the Winning Alliance's partnership, 2056 and 2200 played with 6854 to set the high score of the event at 124 points. Watching this match shows exactly why OP picked Robotics during Alliance selections. Starting with their perfectly complementary autos, this alliance started the match strong and only kept that momentum through the rest of the 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. 29 notes scored later, 2200 completed a quick trap climb, and OP was spotlit on their stage, while Viking Robotics held their own, absolutely shutting down the other alliance with some killer defense. Now on to finals. All but one preset note was scored in the first 15 seconds. An amazing steal by 1325 caused 2056's vision tracking to kick in and drive to the next note. With their performance this weekend, it's no wonder they are ranked second in the world by EPA according to Statbotics. The third alliance, captained by 3161 with 1325 and 4992, fought hard but couldn't best the first alliance, captained by 2056 with 2200 and 7509. In the end, the first alliance took the blue banner. Congratulations to 2056 OP Robotics, 2200 Robotics, and 7509 Brainstorm. The Impact Award was given to Tronic Titans 3161, while Engineering Inspiration went to 7200 Banting Robotics. 9575 Silver Robotics won Rookie All-Star, and 5406 Celtex earned the Creativity Award. Congratulations to 5409 Chargers for the Excellence in Engineering Award, and 1285 The Biggest Birds for Innovation and Control. I can't wait to see what these teams do at the Ontario District Championship in just a couple days. Good luck, everyone, and stay tuned.
The 1st and Michigan District had 5 events this weekend, starting off with the FIM District Renaissance event where they had Team 4130, the Blue Devils, that took the early lead with an APA of 31.9 at this event. 4130 ranked second after qualifications, and they were selected by 862 Lightning Robotics to join the first alliance. 2673 also joined this alliance as the second pick. The number 1 alliance won matches 1, 7, and 11, bringing them to the finals. The 7th alliance worked through the lower bracket to make it to the finals. This alliance consisted of 2224, 5901, 7692. Finals 1 was taken by the number 1 alliance with a score of 72-46. Moving into finals match 2, alliance 1 takes a lead of 27-24 in auto. First thing in the tally up you'll see is 4130 passing some notes from midfield over to 862 where they score in the amp and the speaker. At 130 left, there is a big 15-point amplified period that secures the competition for the number 1 alliance. The score of finals match 2 was 97-45. Congratulations to the number 1 alliance and to Team 5530 with the Engineering Inspiration Award and to Team 862 with the Impact Award. Next up, we have the FIM District Central Michigan University event where Team 2337, the Engineers, ran the show throughout the competition with an EPA of 31.5. 5505, 7226, and 4392 followed closely after. The first alliance, consisting of 5505 Volt Squared, 2337 the Engineers, and 9215 T-Town Tech, starts off the elimination matches with a loss, but worked their way through the lower bracket back up to the finals, where they squared off against the third alliance of 4392 the Deceivers, 7226 Error 404, and 4234 the Marauder Bots. During the autonomous mode, 2337 showed off their two-sided intake and started off teleop with a lead of 36-31. Immediately after auto, they showed their aggressiveness on the field by slamming into 4392 and robbing the note from them. The Blue Alliance is the dominant force in this match and wins with a score of 103-53. Congratulations to the number 1 alliance and to Team 7160 with the Engineering Inspiration Award and Team 7226 with the Impact Award. Next up, we have the FIM District Kentwood event where we have Team 2075 Enigma Robotics. They led the charge throughout the competition with an EPA of 41.4. 2054 and 6081 followed closely after. The first alliance consisted of 2075 Enigma Robotics, 2054 the Tech Bikes, 8285 Bionic Bulldogs, and 7911 for one match. They ran through matches 1, 7, and 11 with an average score of 129. The fourth alliance, consisting of 858 Demon Robotics, 6081 Digital Dislocators, and 3658 the Robo Beavers, met them in the finals. Each alliance took one of the first two matches in the finals, bringing them to a tiebreaker match. The fourth alliance started off strong with a 34-29 lead out of auto. In the teleop mode, the Red Alliance shined with 2054 passing, 2075 scoring in the amp, and 8285 scoring in the speaker. But the Blue Alliance still had the lead going into endgame. But 2054 and 2075 scored in the trap. The Red Alliance ended up taking it because of that with a score of 104-103. Very close match. Congratulations to the number 1 alliance and to Team 2054 with the Engineering Inspiration Award and to Team 2771 with the Impact Award. Let's take a look at our first featured event for FIM District this week. The FIM District Troy event number 2, which had 39 teams ready to prove themselves this weekend. Everyone was watching 7769 The Crew going into this event, as well as 494 The Martians, 3656 Dexter Dreadbots, 1506 Metal Muscle, and 70 more Martians. 494 was trailing 3656 all day until match 48, where 494 took home 4 ranking points. Let's break it down. 494 started off looking for a 3-0 auto, but came out with a 2. 494's alliance is at a 2-point disadvantage after auto. The Martians drop in 3 notes into the amp and then move on to the speaker at 150, where they score 3 notes into the speaker in the amplified period, which brought them to a 35-23 lead. More of the same until 20 seconds left, where 494 climbs up the climb, they score in the trap, and get spotlighted all at once. The score of 63-41 brought 494 to the number 1 seed. During line selection, the first pick was 494 was obviously Team 7769 The Crew. 9242 joined their alliance as well. 3656 selected 1506 and 7247. 314 selected 1701, and 2137 selected 3534. The elimination matches went about as expected, and we ended up with an Alliance 1 versus Alliance 2 finals. In the finals match 1, the Blue Alliance absolutely destroys the auto mode with 8 notes scored and a score of 46-19. The Crew scores in the amp twice, and then during the amplified period, they score it in the speaker twice. That is all only 30 seconds into the teleoperated period. 494 takes the role of passing to 7769. Usually when a passing strategy is implemented, the scoring robot can't keep up with the passing robot, but here is a rare example of the strategy working incredibly well. 494 joins in for a couple of notes at the speaker at 105. On the Blue Alliance, we see 3 robots climbed, 7769, 9242 in harmony, and 494 with a trap score and a climb. Finals match goes to the number 1 alliance with a score of 122-84. Match 2 goes to the number 2 alliance with a score of 88-83, but the tiebreaker goes back to the number 1 alliance with a score of 72-69. Congratulations to the number 1 alliance and to Team 1506 with the Engineering Inspiration Award and to Team 2137 with the Impact Award.
The first in Michigan Macomb Community College event was a thriller, complete with elite Michigan teams, upsets, high-level play, and so much more to recap. Teams like 2023 World Finalist 5460, 2022 World Champions 3175, 2023 Einstein Alums 9312 and 818, Michigan District Machine 1023, and so many more fought their hearts out this weekend at this Week 5 event. Qualification match 48 was one of my favorites at this event because of its ability to quietly showcase 7762 as the ideal third robot. 7762 was a very strong robot at this event, 9th ranked in EPA, yet due to a terrible schedule, ranked 28th in quals. Throughout this match, 7762 does a great job of running amp cycles amidst the speed and precision of 5460 and 3539, two of the top robots at this event. For example, with a minute 30 to play, 7762 does a great job of picking up the low-hanging fruit from the ground and scoring it in the amp, continuing that strong amp play. In addition to the teleop play, they are able to climb effectively in endgame, making them an even more valuable addition to whatever alliance they may end up on. Somehow, 7762 the autopilots would fall all the way to the second pick of Alliance 4, and a powerhouse number 4 alliance was formed. Complete with Captain 818 the Steel Armadillos and Team 1023 the Bedford Express, the number 4 alliance would roll undefeated all the way through the upper bracket, even upsetting the number 1 alliance in match 7. Finals 1 was a rematch of that intense match 7 against a powerful number 1 alliance foe, completed by Team 5460 Strike Zone, Team 3175 Night Vision, and Team 6098 BI Robot. In Finals 1, we saw the number 1 alliance get their revenge, however, through just a narrow margin. The number 1 alliance consistently outperformed the field in Auton, building a 10-point lead as we see them come out of Auton. Despite that, the number 4 alliance's teleop prowess was intense, and they would claw their way back throughout the match. It was 3 distinct tech fouls that would swing this finals match 1. The first huge moment, with 43 seconds remaining, 7762 is knocked out by a huge 5460 hit, and a tech foul was called a couple seconds later at 34 seconds remaining. At 24 seconds, 1023 rescues 7762 from the stage zone. However, at 14 seconds and 9 seconds, tech fouls are called on 818 and 1023. These fouls did not fully decide the outcome of the match, but certainly swung the dominance and momentum. In Finals 3, we saw an ultra-clean match, on the contrary, with no penalties at all being called. Smooth cycling, close autons, big hits, this match was quite the race to watch. There was really no separation until the end of the match, when a red number 4 alliance was able to take a lead into endgame, and climb to steal it. 5460 Strike Zone attempted to trap, however was unable to convert in the closing moments of the match. Huge congratulations to our winning alliance of Team 818 the Steel Armadillos, Team 1023 Bedford Express, and Team 7762 the Autopilots. Even more congrats are in order for Team 1023 for winning EI, Team 9765 the LCS Cougars won Rookie All-Star, and a huge congratulations to Team 9312 Nerd Spark on becoming the first 9000s FIM team to take home the Impact Award. Best of luck to all the teams that qualified for the Michigan State Championship this upcoming week.
Hello and welcome back to First Indiana. This week we had the Washington District event featuring many consistently good teams, including 868 Tech Hounds hoping to come back for a second event win, and 3176 Purple Precision hoping to do the same, as well as many other impressive teams such as 5484 Wolfpack hoping to go even further than at the Green Country region. With this event having the last points available to qualify for district champs, everyone came ready to play. Looking at qualification match number 5, we see Alliance Captain 1, 1747 Harrison Boiler Robotics, Alliance Captain 3, 868, and Alliance Captain 8, 8116 Hatchet Robotics versus Alliance 2 first pick 1501 Thrust, and Alliance 3 first pick 234 Cyberblue. Coming out of auto, Red Alliance would pull ahead, scoring 7 notes in the speaker to the Blue Alliance's 4. This lead would prove too much for Blue Alliance, as Red would continue to pull ahead with incredibly quick cycling, finishing with 24 total notes scored, a trap, and 3 successful onstage robots as well as a harmony. This would be the highest score excluding penalties of the entire competition, showing just how viable all 3 members of this alliance are. Now moving on to eliminations, picking was relatively normal, where after the first alliance led by 1747 chose 3176, Alliance 2, led by 5188 Classified Robotics, would pick the 3rd seed 1501, the new 3rd Alliance captain would pick who would have been the 4th seed, and so on. There were 2 main contenders that, interestingly enough, met in the first round of eliminations. Alliances 3 and 6 would eventually be reunited in finals, but until then, Alliance 3, led by 868 and joined by 234 and 3947 the Last Crusaders, would win by just 3 points, showing just how closely matched many alliances at this event were. Past this, both alliances breezed through their respective brackets before joining for finals. Both matches would be decided by just 7 points or less, with respective scores of 78 to 71 and 71 to 68. Both matches would go to the Red Alliance, giving 868 their second banner of the season, as well as 234 and 3947 their first of this year. Congratulations to the winning alliance and the finalist alliance, led by 5484 and joined by 6498 Castle Robotics, joined by Team 1720 Fixed Gears. For awards, Team 6498 Castle Robotics won Impact for the first time in their team's history, 4926 Galactech won Engineering Inspiration, and 9554 Portage Pythons won Rookie All-Star. Congratulations to all teams for their great performance, and good luck to all competing at the state championship this upcoming weekend.
The final two events before DCMP next weekend for the First in Texas season has arrived and finished this past weekend. So before we head to our featured event of Space City at Friendswood, let's take a quick look at Amarillo that took place at Amarillo Civic Center and hosted 38 teams. The number one seed went to 4206 RoboBikes, and they picked 4063 Chicks for Kids and 7088 Somerset RoboDogs. They went through playoffs pretty clean and made it all the way to finals. They will end up against Alliance 5 for finals, which consisted of 3676 Redshift Robotics, 9136 Rampage, and 8528 Astrochimps. Now, both of the final matches were pretty close, but eventually Alliance 1 took the win, 76-65 and 88-67. Congratulations to 3676 Redshift Robotics, 9136 Rampage, and 8528 Astrochimps for becoming the finalists for the Amarillo event. Congratulations to 4206 RoboBikes, 4063 Chicks for Kids, and 7088 Somerset RoboDogs for winning the Amarillo District event. For awards, congratulations to 9620 Italine for winning the Rookie All-Star Award. Congratulations to 4063 for the Double Cling Bing Tricks for Kids for winning the Engineering Inspiration Award. And congratulations to 6369 Mercenary for winning the Impact Award. Now heading to our featured event all the way south of Texas for Space City at Friendswood District event, which hosted 35 teams at the Clearbrook High School in Friendswood, Texas. I did the forecast for this event, so let's see how right I was. We were keeping our eyes on 118 Robonauts, which, fun fact, this is their 5th event of the season. We were also keeping our eye on 9128 Can Robotics, 231 High Voltage, and 324 Chips. The number one seed went to 231 High Voltage, which picked number 3 seed 9128 Can Robotics, as well as 8818 the Faux Engineering Group. The number one alliance would go clean throughout the playoffs until match 11 when they had to go up against Alliance 2 of 118 Robonauts, 5892 Energy Heroes, and 9081 Plutonium. But in match 11, Alliance 1 got a backup robot to replace 8818 with 2950 Devastators. Now, after auto, Alliance 2 had a 17-point lead, 34-17. For the rest of the match, Alliance 2 would keep the lead, giving Alliance 2 the win, 84-71. Now, this was a really close match, but now Alliance 2 is in the finals, so we thought we would see Alliance 1 to come back and get the revenge in finals. But instead, we saw Alliance 3 of 324 Chips, 5427 Steel Talons, and 5052 the Robo Lobos actually beat Alliance 1 in match 13, 62-57. Now, finals is a 2v3 matchup. We saw these two together in match 8, which the score was 99-79 in favor of Alliance 2. So, can Alliance 3 get their revenge? In finals 1, after auto, Alliance 3 had a 7-point lead, 31-24. Alliance 1 would keep that lead until 1 minute and 35 seconds left in the match, when Alliance 2 was 1 point away. A few seconds later, Alliance 2 took the lead. Then, at 1 minute and 20 seconds left of the match, 5427 lost comms in the middle of the field, which helped Alliance 2 gain an advantage, giving them the win, 83-62. Now in finals match 2, after auto, Alliance 2 had the lead, this time by only 3 points, 29-26. Alliance 2 would keep this lead close, but at 1 minute and 55 seconds left, 5892 died, which gave Alliance 3 a chance to catch up, which they did, which caused the score to go back and forth between alliances. It was very unclear to see who was going to win the match. But at the end, Alliance 2 took the win 68-63. Congratulations to 324 Chips, 5427 Steel Talons, and 5052 the Robo Lobos for becoming the finalists for the Space City event. Congratulations to 118 Robonauts, 5892 Energy Heroes, and 9081 Plutonium for winning this Space City District event. For awards, congratulations to 9514 Blanson RoboJags for winning the Rookie All-Star Award. Congratulations to 2587 Disco Bots for winning the Engineering Inspiration Award. And congratulations to Team 118 Robonauts for the double Gold Kling Bing and winning the Impact Award. Another huge shout out to Robonauts for their 5th blue banner so far this season. They're trying to beat their last year streak of 7. And right now they're holding the lead of the most blue banners for the season, so let's see if they can continue that streak. Now, with DCMP coming up this week, I want to congratulate everyone in the 1st and Texas District for an amazing season, and I'm excited to see all the teams at DCMP next week. Come by and say hi.
Thanks for watching FRC Recap. Don't forget to tune in next week for our district championship and a few other regional recaps as well too. It will be our last FRC recap of the year. As for championships, we'll be moving that over to our FRC Roundup show as well too. So tune in next week around the same time on a Tuesday for FRC Recap for our district championships and Week 6 regional events. This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. AndyMark is your one-stop shop for all your robotics competition needs. Celebrating 20 years of quality robotics parts and superior service, AndyMark employees have over 200 years of first-team experience. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to andymark.com for high-quality and affordable solutions.